Hey Moonies, welcome to the Sailor Moon Fan Club podcast. I'm your host, Victoria L. Johnson, and I'm here with Mary Gibson, the head of acquisitions for Digital Media Rights, which is the parent company of RetroCrush, which you may have heard of. It's a free streaming platform dedicated to the golden age of anime. So we're talking City Hunter, Ronin Warriors, Creamy Mami, Fushigi Yuji, and so much more. I'm super excited to talk to her. Hey Mary.
Hey.
Welcome to the Sailor Moon Fan Club podcast.
Thank you for having me. Super excited to talk about anything Sailor Moon. Always happy.
Yeah, you are in the right place. This is where we talk about all things Sailor Moon. And other things too, but mostly Sailor Moon. So the first question I usually ask every guest is, what's your first memory of watching Sailor Moon?
Oh boy. So I would have to say, like running home and making sure that I had my VCR set to record. I have so many like VHS tapes with the Toonami runnings of Sailor Moon, and I don't know my first exact memory, but when I think about it growing up, like watching Sailor Moon, I think of that, like making sure I come home and making sure that the night before everything is set up on my VCR and I have the time correct I wanted to record, making sure I have nothing on the VHS tape so I'm like free to record on it. Those are like sweet memories. And because it was like my thing, like I even if I did like after school stuff, I knew like as soon as I got home in between like dinner and homework, I would just try to get in that episode of Sailor Moon and just be so happy. But yeah, like I think I would say, yeah, that's probably my biggest memory of it. Other than that, yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any favorite moments or episodes?
I have to say, this is a hard one, actually. Mm-hmm. This is really hard. There's the various moments, like because remember they didn't show all the episodes. They were only showing up to like a certain season, and then like they just didn't have any more episodes. But one of the things I always remember was when Toonami had a promo running for was it Sailor Moon R? Was it Sailor Moon R? No. It was after, no, maybe it wasn't. It was like the lost episodes. And I just remember seeing the promo and you saw like glimpses of like Neo Queen Serenity. And I was like, oh my God, what is this? And like Chibiusa, who is called Rini. Mm-hmm. Shout out to the old dub. Many people hate on it, but it's part of my childhood. So I will always love it. I do enjoy the new dub, but I will always have a soft spot in my heart for the old dub, even though the show was heavily edited.
Same here.
Right?
Yeah.
So I just remember always being really hype about that, and again, like I would beg my mom, like, we need to get more VHS tapes so that I can make sure like I can record everything. So I do remember that, and the first season, when Sailor Moon is fighting Queen Beryl, and the music starts playing and all the scouts are they're like there's that montage of them like holding her hand and the music's playing, like that scene, I just loved it, just like because the Sailor Scouts, they had died, right? But like I guess the way they edited it, you weren't sure and like what happened to them, but because they never showed like the full scene. I think that was like also heavily edited. But yeah, I will always remember that scene in particular. I can't say particularly why, but it just always stands out. And then the introduction of Sailor Pluto, because I love her.
Oh yeah. Well, I'll say first, like, yeah, that's another thing. The original dub will always have is the music. It was so good. So I don't think anyone can at least knock it for that, even though they edited a lot.
Those English songs, they were bops. I gotta say, they were. I'm not gonna lie. I loved And the one where I can't remember the full name, but where she turns into Princess Serenity for the first time, and the silver crystal appears. Like the music was so perfect.
Yeah, definitely. Like it gets me so amped. I'm like, yes.
So good. I also, now I'm remembering, like, talking about it, my memories are flooding back. I used to watch that episode, the reveal episode where Darian, and sorry, because it's my childhood, I'm going to use the old English names.
No
Darian
worries.
and Serena found out their secret identities. I was like, oh yes, finally! And and I watched that episode so many times. Just because it was like, oh my god, I want to see more of them as like Princess Serenity, and I just like, I want to see more of their past life and all that stuff. And the episode after that, where Luna talks about the past lives, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of see, like, you get like that short like flashback of everything going on back then, and like Serena meeting Darian for the first time, the prince, and like that. I loved that as a kid, but I wanted to see more of that, like more of their backstory. Like I even wanted a whole series, just like Silver Millennium.
Same. Yeah, I think I've said this before, but like, I think that was the first time I was really introduced to lore and like backstory and like, you know, having that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I totally, like I've said, like I want, like you said, like a show just of the past and one in the future.
Yeah.
Because like there's so much there. Like what is going on? It's like Crystal Tokyo, and then you have the Moon Kingdom.
Yeah.
Like there's just
Yep.
and it could be a completely different show too. Like I could see, like, you know, knights and princesses and fantasy and space, and I'm like, I want that.
Thank God for fan fiction though, because
Yeah.
that, I think that's what really got me into fan fiction too. And I have to tell this story because I just had this like mind-blowing revelation the other day with a friend that I had known when I first moved to New York. And so while I was watching Sailor Moon, I think it was after they showed like the episodes of Neo Tokyo and that stuff, and I was getting into fan fiction, and there was one in particular that I just that I was in love with. Like the story was so deep, and it had like story arcs, so three different, like, I guess you could say they were kind of like novels, but it's just like this whole universe, and they had like the Zodiac Senshi, and they had like the Neo Senshi, where it was more focused on like the children of the Sailor Scouts, and then Chibi Moon, and then there was a third one, and I'm trying to think of it, but because I don't think I ever finished the third one. Maybe I did, but I was obsessed with it, and they had all this like people would submit fan art so you could see what the characters would look like. And I just remember being on my old computer, like logging into AOL and spending hours reading this like long story. And it was really great because it kind of gave you a glimpse into what could be if they had like gone into more of the future and just, you know, explored on the lore. Like you're talking about lore, like this really got me into lore. And, you know, grew up, kind of fell out of the reading of fan fiction, and just recently one of my friends on Facebook was writing. I had known this girl named Janelle. I've known her, we're not super close, but when I first moved to New York, I became friends with her through another mutual friend, and she moved out of New York, and then we keep in touch via Facebook, and I saw a recent post she made, and it was someone thanking her for her fan fiction, and I was like, oh yeah, I kind of vaguely remember her saying she did some fan fiction. I knew she was into Sailor Moon, and then I saw the link of it, and it's just crazy because about a couple months ago, I had been thinking about that fan fiction, and I'm like, man, I really want to go back and read it, because I just remember that the feeling of excitement and wonder just reading it, and I kind of wanted to re-experience that or just read it again as an adult. And turns out that my friend Janelle was the one that made that, and I had no idea that it was her. And apparently it was a big like a lot of people read it.
Mhm.
I'm trying to think of it's like the Sailor Moon Millennia. I think that's what's called. I'm trying to think.
Millennia. That's so cool though. Yeah, it's kind of interesting to have like people who've become like super famous for like their fan fiction and they're just like leading these regular lives now.
Yeah,
They were like stars and
Yeah, okay, I got it. Yeah, it is. It's SailorMoonMillennia.net. Shout out to Janelle for making that. And it has like Sailor Moon Zodiac, Sailor Moon Neo, and Sailor Moon Genesis. And I remember I was obsessed with this. I was obsessed. And I didn't know that this was hers. And so when she posted that and I was like, oh my God, this is what I was looking for. This is what I've been searching for. And it blew my mind. I was like, did I know this and just forgot? But like, how did I not realize, put two and two together, you did this? So shout out to her, because like that was just a huge fandom. And I'm sure like it touched a lot of people, and it's just, knowing that it's there, it's great. And if you haven't read it, I don't know how, I mean, I'm probably going to go back and reread it. Because it's awesome. I mean, there's so many chapters of this, and yeah, like it's just great how Sailor Moon can help, people expand on the lore and just bring out a whole nother creative, story. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna read it. That's one thing. I think there was a moment when I got into some Sailor Moon fan fiction, but I never really got heavy into it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of what I've been wanting to do more so lately.
Yeah, this is the perfect place to start. Yeah. And I just remember the Zodiac ones, and it's so funny because when I found the site, I went to the fan art and I saw fan art of Sailor Scorpio, and I just remember as a kid, or growing up, looking at the fan art and then making my own fan art off of these characters, and it was just like, wow, what a mind-blowing moment. Like it's just so great. So yeah, if you're into fan art and you want to read some Sailor Moon fan art, this is definitely, I would say, the one to start with. All three of them, it's just really good lore.
I love how the website is still like the old website too. I'm like, this is so cool. It's taking me back to like literally 2001 where it was created. Like it's just like, this is so cool. I feel like I could like go into a room and just pretend I'm like 10 again.
Yep. This is old school internet right here.
Yeah, I love it. The 8-bit pictures and it's a really good website too. It's like very, I'm definitely gonna read this and hopefully get Janelle on the show one day.
Yeah, like she's great. I mean, the other thing about it is that it just brought people together, because the art, so many people made fan art for this and submitted fan art. It's so crazy. It's mind blowing to me as an adult now. I'm just like, geez, it's so great, and the community is just epic. So
yeah. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, I'm really excited to get into this. This sounds really cool, especially because you're so hype. I'm like, this must be really good.
I'm like hyping it from my old experience, but I don't know. I love Sailor Moon, so I have to be hyped.
I love it. Yeah, no, I mean, I do too. So I'm super excited. This is so cool. I feel like, I don't know, but yeah, there really are like people out there who like wrote these fan fictions and had like thousands and thousands of like followers, and now they're just like la 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 la, living my life.
Yeah, I mean, Janelle's still like, she's still doing a lot of big things. She was at Riot, and she left to start her own business, and I'm like promoting her. But yeah, I mean, like it's just great. Like I had no idea that this was the same person that made this Sailor Moon fan fiction. So it's just kind of like, it's mind blowing, but then awesome at the same time.
Yeah, definitely.
It's awesomely mind blowing.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely. But yeah, we're back to you. You mentioned before that your favorite Sailor Scout is Sailor Pluto. Well, I don't know. You mentioned Sailor Pluto before. Is she your favorite Sailor Scout / Senshi?
She is Sailor Pluto. So this is there's levels to this. So I feel personality wise, I'm more of Jupiter. I'm just more her character. Like, I was when I was younger. Maybe I still am. But like, if I see a cute guy, I always had crushes. I was always the tall one in the group. And I don't, yeah, so I kind of like identify more with Jupiter, but Pluto was like my everything. I just loved her look. I love the fact that she had so much power in terms of like controlling and guarding time. And also she was the tannest one. So, I always thought she was like the only black sailor Senshi.
I've often said she's like the unofficial black sailor.
Exactly.
Like her in
Yep.
Pluto, actually, yeah.
Pluto, yep. And I just love, and then I love like her Japanese voice actress, even English one. Like I love the way like she carries herself. So she's always been my favorite. I just always wish that there was more like backstory to her. I know in the manga, I reading it and just reading like her like her relationship with the queen and king and all that. But I just kind of want a spinoff where it's just about her and like how she like more into how she ended up being the guardian of time, and I don't know, but she's definitely my favorite. And her I loved her staff. I love all the characters that have staffs. Like even Saturn. I love her. I love her styling group. Like it's so sleek.
Yeah, I love a staff. It's just like, I wield power. Fear me.
Yes. So it's just I don't know. I love it. I love it. Those two together, I would say both of them are my favorites. But Pluto's definitely like number one. She's my number one.
Pluto is in my top 4.
And the thing is, like, I don't hear a lot of people talking about her. I'm like, is she so serious? Because she's too serious? Like, no. Come on, gotta give the Time Queen props.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. Like, she's the guardian of time. Like, she's super powerful. I'm like, how can you not?
Like when she stops time, when she's with Uranus and Neptune, like, let me just flex a little bit. I have to do this. Like, she's not supposed to. It's forbidden, but I have to. Like, who can do that? No one can. Just her.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah, she's so cool. Yeah. I really like her. But you also work with anime. I don't know how to, but
yeah. Anime fan that just happens now to work within like the anime space.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. It's interesting because again, like I'm coming from like a fan base and like and knowing like the things that I like, and then kind of now dipping my toes into this crazy industry and just trying to maneuver the mechanics of like business side and then like fandom as well. So it's exciting, and RetroCrush has been like a nice it's been like a nice project, an ever-growing project. I have to say, like, myself and my coworker, we've been like the two anime my coworker Will, we've been the two big anime heads in the office, and it was kind of like our little baby because we both are anime fans. We both like old school anime, and it's kind of like, hey, wouldn't it be cool to see like a lot of the old stuff we used to watch? Yeah, it would be. So it kind of started from that thought, and then just had a chance, like happening to work with some older titles like Bubblegum Crisis and Vampire Princess Miyu for our other channel, Midnight Pulp. That's kind of where it started, and then it started growing after that in a sense of we saw people were really liking the old school stuff, And just like to give an overall background, our company, Digital Media Rights, we're a distribution company first and foremost. So we've worked with hundreds of companies from all over the world to bring titles to streaming platforms in North America. So like we work with Amazon Prime, Tubi TV, Pluto, Hulu, Netflix, pretty much like all the majors. And then um, we ended up making our own set of channels. So like we have RetroCrush, but we also have other channels. Asian Crush, which is Pan-Asian. If you guys like J-dramas, K-dramas, Korean movies, just Pan-Asian movies in general.
I do like all of those things.
Yeah, if you like all of those things,
Yeah.
plus some anime, that's definitely the place you'd want to check out, because it was our first channel under Digital Media Rights that we ever made, and so it houses so much cool content, from like popular stuff to more obscure, and it's just really good. There's a lot of hidden gems you can find there. And then Midnight Pulp was the second one, where it's our horror cult genre. So there's a lot of if you're into horror, creepy stuff, like I can't do horror that much. But we started placing a lot of old school anime there. So you can find, a good selection on Midnight Pulp as well. If you like, if you're into anime, and then Hong Kong retro cinema, again, like all the horror you could ask for, that's the place you want to go to. And then our two other ones are, one is Kokoro, which is a kids channel, and then the other one is Yu Yu, which is our general entertainment. So that encompasses like stuff from all over the world. But I would say like our main popular ones in this kind of genre would be like Asian Crush, Retro Crush, Midnight Pulp. So I went on a little tangent there about that, but it's good to preface with that. So yeah, we started acquiring anime titles for those platforms and then distribution. So like a lot of the stuff you'll see on RetroCrush, we also deliver to Prime. So there's more ways to watch, as many ways to watch as possible. And the idea for RetroCrush like finally came about when we decided, I think these anime series and movies and OVAs, whatnot, they need their own home. And so we went an unconventional route, and we started a YouTube channel on Facebook, where it was mostly to engage like the community and see if people, how people reacted to these older shows. And we were surprised, like a lot of people really liked the content that the team was putting out, and really, like, most importantly is just to get fans aware of these older titles, because there's a lot of good anime, but like it's like a history. Like these titles are like the history of, where these new shows are coming from with the tropes and things like that. So we wanted to have a space where people could watch these titles, get snippets of it, get interested, and then, in like the comments and stuff, have discussions. And we just thought, hey, this is going pretty well. Why not make a streaming service out of it? And we did. And it's not even a year old. We launched like last April and during the pandemic, which was crazy. And I can say on behalf of like everybody in the office, we were like blown away with the amount of support and just the positive reactions, even the constructive criticism, like everything just helps. And we were just blown away by the attention it had been getting. I mean, to be honest, a lot of the content, there's a lot of content that can be found on other platforms, but it's nice to have it in one centralized location if you like those type of titles. And, because of the way that we kind of curate and put things in, like it's we're trying to give each of these titles its limelight, and focus on like why you should watch this. And so yeah, like I'm still floored by it. It still kind of surprises me, because we are a small team and we are working on other, like all our other streaming channels, but RetroCrush, it's definitely like a shining star right now. And it's not even us. Like, it's because of everybody that in the community that's partaking in it and telling us what they like, what they don't like. We love when people tell us, hey, can you go get this? Even though I can't really say anything about that, but it's great. Like, it's really great.
Yeah, it really is. Like, I remember I heard about it before you guys launched, and I was like, this is so cool, because a few years ago, one of my like New Year's resolutions was like to watch more retro anime, because I really loved what is it? I'm forgetting the name right now.
What genre?
Fantasy, but I think it's Rune Explorers. It's like a 4-episode anime. My brother had it on VHS, and I loved that so much. And I kind of got into City Hunter after the K-drama came out with Lee Min-ho. Yeah. And I was just like, I want to like watch more of this. Like, obviously there's man, I am blanking out on everything right now. Ghost in the Shell.
I do this all the time when people ask me, what is your favorite and I can't remember anything that we have on our channel.
Right. Yeah, well, that question's coming, by the way. But
I'm like prepping myself now.
Yeah. But it's just like you said, it's really nice, because like even with City Hunter, like I was like going through YouTube and like random sites trying to like piece together episodes, and then I just got frustrated and I was like, I'm not doing this.
It can be like that sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've gotten a little bougie with my anime watching now that it's so widely available. I'm like, I can't like just go episode to episode.
Yeah,
click through too many. Yeah.
That's the thing. You like hit the nail on the head, like stuff being available and coming from like being a kid and not being able to see a lot of the stuff that is now like we're putting out now, and other companies are putting out. Like it's amazing. And I think, COVID, I don't know. I will say I think COVID plays a big part in like this resurgence too of older shows, because everyone's inside, and at one point like new productions were coming out very slowly, and so people are looking at their older catalogs, and I think for us it was just such a great, it's a twofold thing, because it's like COVID's horrible, and like I don't wish that upon anybody. My sister had it, so I know it was really bad, but like also I think for streaming in general, it like boosted it. And because everyone's at home, everyone wants this binging everything. So it gave us a way to, I think in a more faster capacity, like bring out some of these titles. And I don't want to take credit for it, but I've noticed like since we launched, there's just been a lot of resurgence of a lot of older stuff, and like a lot of talk about older titles and appreciation for it. And so it's crazy. It's good. It's great, because these are titles that have been hidden away, like they haven't been seen in so long, and there's still a ton of content out there. Obviously some stuff is going to be harder to bring out due to licensing and rights and things like that, but it is great to see, like, not even us, but other companies too, putting out older content, and really, really letting like new anime fans now, get a glimpse into it, and obviously for the old heads, it's like, oh, yeah, okay, now like I have it on streaming, so I can watch it, but also collect. Like I still collect, so that's definitely gonna still be a big part. But yeah, it's just the availability of it is so nice now. It's still we still have a long way to go, but you can see that more and more are coming to platforms. Yeah. Unfortunately for us, we are only US and Canada only. It breaks my heart every time. Like every day we get a tweet or a DM, something like, come to Brazil, come to the UK. Right. And like it's so hard. It's so hard. It gets if I could do like a Thanos snap and like everybody gets anime, that would be the greatest thing in the world. But it's just like it's so complicated, but you know, it's just a process, and hopefully one day, whether it's through us or other people like that, those titles can get out and to other territories. I hope so. But yeah.
Yeah, no, I think definitely. I think RetroCrush showed that there's an appreciation and a market for people who want to watch older anime. And like obviously like my brother, he has like DVDs and VHS tapes still of like older shows. And you know, I still love watching older shows, and I think now especially was a really good time for that too, just cuz I think good things can come out of horrible things. Like COVID is horrible. Like people were home and like wanted, you know, we're looking for things to watch, and it was like, oh yeah, I remember this show from like my childhood. But also because I think there was starting to be a loss of like you said, like knowing from like where some of these tropes came from, and knowing like these shows that we're watching now, like they have a lineage that tie back to these shows from like the 50s, 60s, 70s, like even Sailor Moon. Like, Sailor Moon has a long lineage of, like, magical girl series. Like, it was not the first one to do it.
Right.
Even though it, like, changed things, but, like, there's a history there.
There is a history, yep. And it's great because most people say, oh, yeah, I love Sailor Moon, and I love this, and even newer ones like Madoka. And it's like, those have, and Sakura, like, all of those have, you know, its histories with the Creamy Mommies, and even before her, and Miki Momos, right. And like the Magical Witch Sally, like all of these are there. It's just all a part of history, and it's really great. And even on Twitter, like I've just been noticing a lot of conversation with certain tropes and like artistic styles. There was like even in American animation, so like stuff that we see on Cartoon Network takes heavily, some shows take heavily from Japanese anime, and some of the things that older directors have done and stylistically wise, and like the Osamu Dezaki, his postcard trope where it looks like it's like that freeze frame, and it has looks like it's all sketched out, and it's very dramatic. You can see a lot of that in Dear Brother.
Yeah, I noticed on our that.
Service. Yeah, like shows now use that same style. I think even Sailor Moon has some of those in there, and it's just kind of like these stylistic stuff that you can see throughout the generations. So it's cool. Like that's how kind of things get carried on, and it's great that like other people in the community can speak on it and like teach others about it when they see it, and can relate it with like, oh, you saw that in Steven Universe or whatever, you know, it could be any show. Oh, they did that in this older anime, and there's always a connection and link there. So that's the kind of thing that like everybody in the office, we want to see more of when it comes to RetroCrush and just the overall conversation of older anime, and just bridging that gap between the new and the old, because like there's a lot of new stuff, again, like a lot of new stuff that's coming out, and it's like if you like this, then like I said something the other day, like if you like Dr. Stone, there's an anime. Well, it is a little darker, but Wind of Amnesia. That's like the same kind of thing where instead of turning to stone, like everybody just lost their memory and they have to rebuild.
Oh wow!
Have to learn how to do everything again. So like all these kinds of stories, but that's kind of anime in general, though. Like the end of the world type thing. Gotta learn how to do things again. Post-apocalyptic. That's very, very big trope in all of anime, but it's stuff like that. And it's great. It's awesome. And like I learn new stuff every day too, from the community, which also like I'm really appreciative of as well.
Yeah, they definitely are enthusiastic. I think like you guys I remember I was following you guys, and then like overnight, you guys went to like 10,000 followers, like 20,000 followers, and I was just like, "Whoa, this is awesome!"
Yeah, we were just like, what?
Yeah, what's
What?
going on?
What's going on? How is this possible? Like, why?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's I don't know what the future holds. You know, I am always optimistic and say knock on wood. Yeah, I just hope that we can continue this service, keep it up, and you know, and work, you know, grow and work with other companies as well. Because we're all sharing the same space. Honestly, like everyone has a love for anime. And I just hope that, you know, we can put out more content and get more eyes on the older stuff.
Yeah.
And not even older, because I mean retro, yeah, it's called RetroCrush, but we do have like titles that are like mid 2000s. But I think like one of our taglines is almost always sometimes wait I can't even remember it now. Oh my god, I'm having a brain fart moment. Mostly retro, always fresh. There we go. So
okay.
like some titles aren't necessarily retro, but they either, you know, speak upon like they talk about older shows in the sense of like Easter eggs or acknowledgement, like via techniques or animation, whatever. But like hidden gems, stuff that kind of is looked over, glanced over, that are really good shows, and should be seen. So we're not necessarily relegated to quote unquote retro, but yeah, that's kind of, I do want to put that out there because we do get, you know, a lot of like replies to stuff about, hey, I didn't know this was retro, or I feel old, which, you know, you're gonna feel old sometimes. It's gonna happen. We're all getting older. We just gotta deal with it. But some stuff is not that old. We know.
Somebody on Twitter was saying, and I'm ignoring it because it's ridiculous, but that the 90s stuff written that was placed in the 90s is now historical fiction, and I'm like, nope.
Nope.
Even though it was like 30 years ago, but I'm like, nope, not accepting that fact.
It's hard, you know?
Yeah.
It's like getting older, and it's just, you know, it's the way of the world. But hey, we still can appreciate it.
Yeah, we're here, we're thriving. Here comes the hard question. What are your favorite titles on RetroCrush?
This is a hard question.
Yeah.
But I will say, because there's lots, but the one that I would say that I personally like always have a connection to would be 12 Kingdoms, and that's because that was one of the first shows that I myself like was responsible for licensing, and I like had to convince like talking to my boss about it, like, oh my god, this show is so good, really want to get this show. And just I remember the late night emails, because, you know, I'm talking to people in Japan, and I'm a night out anyway, so I'm usually up until like 3 or 4 anyway. But just like writing the emails with the negotiations and trying my best, like that was one of the things I manifest. Like I do believe in manifestation, and that was one of the things where I was like, I'm gonna work with this title. I'm gonna somehow, some way, I will work with this particular title. I loved it when I was younger. The music is what drew me in. I loved the whole period fantasy isekai vibe of it. The main character, she is annoying in the first couple episodes, so it is kind of hard for new people because of that, and it does have its issues. But overall, it's just like a, I don't know, like everything about it, I just really, it just hit me and struck and stayed with me. And I really, really, really wanted to have this title. And so when we got it, and being able to launch it on RetroCrush was just really special for me. And it was just like, wow, I was able to do that. Like, who am I? I'm like a nobody, but like I was able to do that. So it was very, I don't know, it was very awesome. And like, because I just remember being a kid, being at my best friend's house in Ohio, and we're watching this show, and we're like talking about the music and being at school during homeroom, like our free time, being in the school library, trying to find a place where I could get the music so I could just listen to it. Yeah, so that one definitely holds a special place. In terms of like other favorites, I actually fell in love with Project Echo, and I remember seeing it a long time ago, but like I don't know, like I never really paid it too much attention, and then when we got it for RetroCrush, like watching it all over again, I just really love it. And I'm really happy to see like so many people talk about it on Twitter, and then obviously like Discotheque, they are amazing. They're doing a Blu-ray. They're gonna release a Blu-ray for Echo, which is like awesome, and they're doing so much work on it. So, really, really excited that they're gonna be able to do that, and then people can actually have a new, this beautiful, kind of like an ultimate edition, because it'll be the best that it's ever looked, and people can collect that and have it in their library, and choose to stream it if they want to. So and it's just such a zany, fun, anime, that has all the tropes and and I don't want to call them Easter eggs because but if that's like the correct term, but they really play on a lot of the anime that was big at the time. Like the teacher is literally Creamy Mommy. This is her. She plays the teacher. So after her days of being an idol, she moved on to higher education and teaching the kids. And yeah, so it's fun, and it's one that I do have a lot of fun with. And then also City Hunter, like that was the other one that I really wanted to make sure was on the app at all costs. Like, shout out to Discotheque for that one. That one, it's awesome. Like, it's such an 80s anime. And I think it's cool because a lot of people, they may have seen clips of it and things like that via City Pop, the resurgence of City Pop, and people taking all these Japanese hits and making music videos using City Hunter and not knowing maybe what the whole series was about. So I think it's cool that there's more places now where people can watch City Hunter and appreciate it. And I don't know, like I think for me now, I'm just kind of going through the catalog and rewatching stuff that I had watched when I was younger in a new, like, my adult mindset. Like I watched Ceres, rewatched that. That is just messy.
Is that Hayashi no Ceres or something else?
Yeah, that one.
Oh yeah, that is messy.
It's so and like I knew it was messy before, but like rewatching it, I'm just like, ooh, yeah, it's just really messy. I did that with Escaflowne. We don't have that one, but I was rewatching that, and that was also another messy one with Alan, who used to be my favorite character, and just like his messiness in the love department. I'm just like, yeah, romance department, he's messy too. But yeah, for stuff on our channel, Dear Brother, that's another one, and I recommend that to anybody that's into older anime and is curious about it. There's so many things that can be said about this one. A lot of serious topics discussed in that anime. It's like it is the drama of, it's so dramatic. Like if you could describe it in one word, it's just dramatic in every sense. Like the animation, the music, like I think we posted a clip of the main character getting off of a bus, and it's just like the most dramatic thing you could ever see. But the animation is beautiful. Like it's so fluid, and some of the techniques they use in the animation, it's just it's beautiful, and it's so well crafted. I'm currently doing a rewatch of that as well. So yeah, it's definitely on top of the list, I would say. and then Kaiba. It's one of the more like obscure to me. Like I didn't think I would ever like it. It just looks it looks very different. I don't know how to describe it, but um, it's I ended up really really liking it after watching it, and I appreciate how deep it gets, and I don't know. I feel like it's one where people may see it and be like, may not be for me, but definitely have to get into it. And the music's really good on that one too. Oh my god, I could go on. There's so many.
Yeah, I'm seeing. I mean, you said it was your baby, so I know you can't pick a favorite. Gonna give you one more hard question. What's one anime you would recommend to a Sailor Moon fan on RetroCrush?
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
A Sailor Moon fan. I think the first one that popped in my head was Fushigi Yugi.
Yeah.
I think I do remember watching it around the same time, and I really liked it. It's so silly. Um, I don't know, like I feel like if you're into isekai, like and Sailor Moon, like well, if you're into Sailor Moon, I feel like you'd also be into isekai shows. Um, so definitely Fushigi Yugi. Like I'm going to the site now. Trying to think what else. Because there's a lot.
There's a lot.
And then there's stuff, and then I keep thinking of stuff that we don't have. I'm like, oh, I wish we had it, so
yeah.
I wish we had it too, so I could recommend it. I don't know, like any isekai on our channel, like 12 Kingdoms, but they're not magical. Well, Creamy Mommy, I would say too. Creamy Mommy is actually really good, and it's crazy how that show is popular in so many other places outside of the U.S. and like there's still being products made today. Like I got my phone, which I can't find right now. On my phone, I have like one of those phone stands on like slapped on the back of my case, and it's Creamy Mommy, and I love it because she's
awesome.
It's so cute, and I love it. It's just like this. It's so cute. It's so cute, and it's not like the typical magic. She's not like it's not that deep, but it's like she has the power to become an idol. I think what is it for like a year, and or she has this magic power for a year to transform, and she becomes an idol. Like it's just kind of it's crazy, but it's cute, and I think if you like Sailor Moon, you should watch that. Definitely Fushigi Yugi, Cardcaptor Sakura. We don't have the series, but we do have the movie. Also beautifully animated. Actually, we watched that too, and I was like, I really do like this. Really do love Sakura. I'm sure there's other ones, and I'm just like drawing a blank. But I would start with those, and then like check out, in our browse section. I think we do it by genres too. So just check out like the romance and the isekai stuff. It's I'm sure there's something that has the same kind of elements or will draw you in story wise.
Yeah, I think any shouju, magic, fantasy, comedy, romance, Sailor Moon's just everything. So yeah, there's definitely a lot there. I think you gave a good list too. I think those would be the ones. Definitely Fushigi Yugi. And I plan on rewatching that because it's been a really long time. I don't remember much. So I'm excited to rewatch that.
And we have the OVAs too, so so there's a lot of Fushigi Yugi that can be watched.
Yeah. Yeah,
and
I don't think
like,
I ever watched all of it.
Like, what are your favorite genres when it comes to anime?
Oh, probably all the ones I just named. I do like shonen too. I like pretty much everything except for horror. And yeah, maybe just I'm not a huge mecha fan with the exception of Gurren Lagann.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta love Gurren Lagann.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just its own thing. But yeah, I watch everything. I used to tell myself I didn't really like slice of life, but
oh my god,
I
so
found
good.
like a few anime that I liked, and I'm like, well, maybe I do. Maybe I just didn't like those ones that I watched. So,
Well, if you like those, I
mhm.
definitely can recommend um Kimagure Orange Road. This like if you want to talk about 80s anime, you have to watch this. You have to watch it. And we have the movie. It's amazing. And it's crazy because like it has a little supernatural element to it, but that's not the focus, which is what I really like about it. It's the relationships, and the music's great. But it's definitely high up there if you're talking about slice of life and relationships. This is like the ultimate. You have to watch it. And Honey and Clover. Honey, that'll make you feel a lot of feelings though, so just be prepared. But it's great. We used to actually have the live action version a long time ago, which is good, but not as good as the anime. But still, those two definitely high on the list. And then we have Itakis, which is like, I don't think a lot of people talk about that one too, but it's that romance comedy. You got the jerk guy and then the cute girl, and that whole play against, like, he doesn't like her but she likes him, and then he turns out he's like the jerk, so she's like, well, whatever, but she still really likes him. I don't know, it's charming. That trope is very common, but you still watch it. You know what's gonna happen, but you still watch it.
Yeah, definitely. I watch K-dramas, and that's like all it is most of the time.
It really is. K-dramas are so predictable, but you still watch it.
They're so good.
They're so good.
It was funny because I first started watching K-dramas because I didn't find them predictable, but I realized I just didn't know the tropes yet. Because they were just different tropes from American TV, so I was like, what's gonna happen? And now I'm like, I know it's gonna happen.
Yeah, that's how it always starts out. You watch it and you're like, huh? But they're actually very tightly close. They're very close to like telenovelas, so I think that's why they're so big in like Latin America. But it's you coming like, from an American perspective, you're watching all like regular American dramas, and then you watch a K-drama and you're like, oh, juicy. This plot,
right?
And someone has amnesia, and then they have to get, and there's always revenge. That's the core component. Yes. And then depending on like if it's more of an adult one or if it's more like the high school kind of ones, and then somebody gets sick, somebody has to die. It's like all of these, but then they're just put together, and then you have a K-drama, and it's crazy, but you're like, oh my god, I need more. I need more.
It's like compacted into 20 episode series, and you're like, next, I need more. Give me more.
But honestly, like, if you like K-dramas, and like, I think more people should really try to check out J-dramas. And I know they haven't been like that readily available in the US, but again, plug out to Asian Crush. I've also been licensing a lot of J-dramas, and a lot of them based on manga and anime. So there's like really cool ones to check out. And if anyone's curious about J-dramas, I would very much highly suggest you check out the Asian Crush YouTube page. We have a lot of clips to get people like integrated and interested in it. Shout out to Katie and the company who works on that. She makes some pretty awesome clips. Nice. And very, very, very eye-catching ones, I have to say. And it's really a good way for people who are kind of on the fence because either they've never watched one or they're used to K-dramas and, have their reservations about, whatever, like any kind of live action, and just get a sense of it. There's a lot that we've recently launched, and there's more that's coming. Like we launched a I think I've talked about it on RetroCrush before, but we launched a Detective Conan live action with Oguri Shun, who, if you don't know the actor, he's like one of my favorites, and he's literally played like almost every anime character. Like he's played Lupin before. He's done Gintama. So, like he's done so many roles, and so they made this like TV movie, and it takes place before the events of the actual anime, and it's actually an episodic, but we only have launched right now just like the first episode, but each one are like its own kind of movie, so you can watch them independently. But I do suggest, like, highly suggest that if you're into Conan, Case Closed, Detective Conan, Case Closed. We have that live on Asian Crush and Amazon Prime, and there's a bunch of other ones on Asian Crush that are really good and have a lot of good, like, dramatic love triangles and plot points. And fun fact, some of the Korean dramas, they like Boys Over Flowers, like that was Japanese, and then like the Korean one got really big, but it has its roots in the Japanese manga, and even like I think the first live action of that was the Taiwanese drama. But yeah,
I got into K-dramas through J-dramas, sort of. So like I watched Sailor Moon, then I was like, oh, there's a Sailor Moon live action, so I watched PGSM.
My god.
And then I was like, well, what other J-dramas are out there? Like, I didn't know this was a thing. And then I ended up watching this one called Nobuta Will Produce.
Yes. Yes.
So good.
Yes.
And then I told my friend about it in college, and I was like, this show is so good. Da-da-da. She was like, well, if you like J-dramas, you might like K-dramas. And then she introduced me to Boys Over Flowers, and then it was just like K-dramas, like all.
Wait, can we rewind a second? Yeah. And let's just talk about the live action Sailor Moon.
Yes, please.
Oh my god. I remember, high school, I think it was high school, and my friends and I, we had like, oh my god, we had to like find this somehow and watch it. And then when we did, I remember I burned it to DVDs a long time ago. I don't even know where that booklet is anymore. They're gone. And like I would go to my friend's house and we would watch it over and over. That was the shit. I'm sorry. I loved it. And I loved how they made Mercury's story. Mm-hmm. So like she became Dark Mercury. Okay, yeah. I was for that. I was totally for that.
Me too. Like the jealousy arc and like the insecurity. It was so good. Yeah, I really loved that it wasn't an exact replica of the anime, but it was still really good.
I was more intrigued with that story a little bit because I remember I watched the anime for Sailor Moon, and then when I couldn't watch any more episodes of what they aired on TV, you had to go searching for other stuff, and so I was reading the manga, and I actually loved how the manga was more dark than the actual, what they were broadcasting on TV. And then finding the live action. At first, when I watched it, I was like, oh my god, why is Luna a stuffed animal? Like, I don't know if I can watch this. but I love the actress who played Usagi and the actress who played Mars that jump-started her career. Like, they were all, I think they all were casted really well. And it just got deeper. And then, like, Mercury's arc, and then I love how I'm not like really spoiling this, but whatever. Sailor Moon, like when she becomes Princess Serenity, and she's like not a good character. She's actually evil.
She's like about some wreck shit.
Yeah, she was like, "Oh, I'm taking y'all out. Yeah. Like I'm mad. Y'all killed Endymion. You just made my life horrible. I'm about to just I'm gonna destroy the world. That's the only thing I can do."
It was not 90s dub version Serena at all.
It wasn't, and it was so refreshing. Refreshing. It's really good. Yeah, it's one of those that like I do wish was readily available too. I love it, and it's great to see like now that internet is more refined than when it was back when the AOL days. Like everyone has more access to like you can see like GIFs and stuff on the internet, and more people talking about it. Like it's good. I don't ever want that to like fade away into obscurity because it's such a interesting part of the Sailor Moon fandom. It's and I like that more than the stage plays, which you used to be able to watch all the stage plays on YouTube. Like someone would always have them up. I do love the stage plays too, but that live action, whew,
so good. Some of the stage plays are still available on a Miss Dream, the website. I think it's missdream.org. They're like Sailor Moon archivists, and they just have a bunch of amazing stuff over there.
Yeah, I gotta check that out. I saw the one they did when it came to New York.
I missed that. I was so sad.
Yeah, they did. Well, okay, so the one before, was it 2019? Oh my God, it was 2019 when they came. But the one before that, they had the movie. They did the movie of the Sailor Moon, like whatever final that was. I'm not even. Am I really a fan? I can't remember these names.
You mean when they redid the movie, or was like? Because I know they re-released one in the movie. Okay.
It was one of the stage plays. It was like the last part of the stage play, and they made a movie out of it, and they well, not a movie, but they recorded it and they played it in New York. You had to get tickets to go see it.
Okay.
And I remember seeing it with one of my coworkers, and we were just, I remember I was at a market in like Hong Kong, and I flew back, and it was my birthday, so it was after my birthday, and the day after I got home, I was jet lagged. I was horribly jet lagged. And I remember going there. I was like, I committed. I already got the tickets. We're going. And we went, and I lost my phone. I honestly don't remember how I lost my phone but I did. Because I was so tired. But I enjoyed that stage play. But it wasn't like live, obviously. It was just like a movie of it. And then they did the tour with the newer batch.
Right.
Now it's different, I think. But different set of girls, but they came to New York like in person, and they did a show there, and I was so surprised because that was like sold out. I think they added a second show, and it was amazing. It was so good. And they even had like the translations on TV screens, on monitors. And yeah, it surprised me, and I really would love to see more of that. Obviously, with COVID, kind of killed it for more. But I was holding out hope, like, oh, they did this one tour. Hopefully, they can do more because there's so much fandom there. I'm holding out hope too, but it's also the fandoms or the licensing has been really active lately. Like, there's 2 movies coming out this year, and then like every time I turn around, there's like some new merch at like Target, and then there's a ColourPop collection, and they did like a collection with this random kit, and I'm like, what's going on? Like, you guys are pushing out a lot of things right now. So, well, I think, and that's really interesting too, because I was seeing a lot of conversation around it, and how, like, you know, the Sailor Moon Crystal series, it had a rocky start. Like, I don't know, that, you know, I think with the art style, they were trying to go for more a manga, but also keep like anime style, and it's evolved since that first season.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I feel like a lot of, like, I was personally excited for it because they were touching upon more of the manga, and there were certain parts in the manga that I would have loved to see animated. But also, it's kind of difficult because it's also fast-paced because it's based on the manga, so you don't get all that character building as you got with the original. Right. So, you know, but they're both, I like both for different reasons. And then it's crazy how, you know, they ended up doing a movie for this season and not like an actual just series. Yeah. And I heard like it didn't do as great as I guess expected. I don't know if that, don't quote me on that, but I think I was just reading that somewhere. But still, they're selling the merch like crazy. I mean, they're making a lot of money off of the merch.
Oh yeah.
With how much they're putting out. So is the movie just a way to keep people buying the merch? Because there's so many Sailor Moon collectors, and I'm like teetering on that as well. But I know you're probably gonna ask about collections later. But yeah, I'm kind of like on the edge of that, and it's crazy. You're right. Like ColourPop, which sold out in like 2 seconds.
Yeah, and they did like 4 restocks, I think, at least. And each one sold out. I think the last one maybe didn't like sell out as quick, but like all of them were like immediate.
It's so crazy. And then all the new, like all the new moon wands coming out.
Yep.
The little figures. There's like chocolates coming out, and they look like they're in lipstick containers. I'm like, how would you eat that? Like, what do you do with the container after you eat chocolate? Yeah. But yeah, they're just getting very creative.
Chocolate. I didn't hear about the chocolate. That is interesting.
Yep, there's like these new chocolates, but they look like lipstick. They're in lipstick containers, so they look like they're lipstick. So my thought is, that's it. That's all little chocolate you get, and then like what happens? What do you do with the container? What are you going to use that for?
Right. Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm tempted to like find. I have a friend that could possibly send some, and I'm like, I'm wondering, should I do it? But I'm not that. I don't think I'm going to do it, but I'm curious. It's a lot.
Yeah. Oh man. But yeah, I wanted to ask you actually. Like you mentioned your Creamy Mommy phone case, phone holder. What's some of your favorite anime merch that you own?
Good question. So I used to be I still am big on art books, so I've been collecting a lot of art books. The one art book I will say, and it's not Sailor Moon related, although I really want those old Sailor Moon art books so bad, but they're so scarce. I think I remember being at Anime NYC, and one seller was like, "You gotta go to this person because they have it. I saw it. They only have one of them. Gotta go now." And it was gone. But I have this Cowboy Bebop that I got when I was in in college? I think I was in college, and I'm from Ohio, so the big con there is called Ohio Con, and I went because the only reason I really wanted to go was because the singers of Rain and some of the
Rain, the K-pop star?
Like no, not the K-pop star. One of the songs from Cowboy Bebop.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, Steve Conte. His name is Steve Conte, and he worked with Yoko Kanno on Bebop and Wolf's Rain, a bunch of other anime, and I fell in love with his voice. Like I wanted to marry his voice, and I knew that they were gonna be there, so I went there, and at one of the this was years ago. Oh gosh, and when I must have been like 18 or 19, and I went to the con, went to the dealer's room, and I found this like cool looking Cowboy Bebop art book, and I was able to get that signed, and recently the English voice actors of Julia and Spike, they were at Anime NYC or Anime or Comic-Con 2 years ago. I want to say last year, but obviously it wasn't that last year. It was 2019. I had them sign a page of like Spike and Julia, and I was just so happy. So that's kind of like my favorite thing I own in terms of art books. But other than that, like Sailor Moon wise, I've been collecting dolls. I have a bunch of figures and dolls, and there's this company Volks that does they've been putting out all these Sailor Moon dolls, and they are very expensive. But I was able to get I think the first one I got was Sailor Mercury. Yeah. And you can pose her, I think she only comes with her uniform, and then you can get the sailor school outfit too. So I have a Sailor Mercury one. I got Jupiter, and then I found Mars Online. And this is like after a lot of saving up. Lots of saving up money for this hobby. But I really like those. They're very detailed. They're very like they're so beautiful. I love them. I really hope they do like Pluto. They've done all the inner senshi, so I'm hoping that they'll do Pluto and Neptune, all the outers, and maybe throw in a tuxedo mask. But though I love those, and then I would say most recently I've been collecting a lot of vinyl. So I have a bunch of like Creamy Mommy vinyls. I have Captain Harlock. I love those soundtracks. I have a bunch of City Pop ones too, but there's just specific anime that I've been going after. I think I just ordered Kimagure Orange Road has some re-releases coming out. Sort of got it. I pre-ordered that. I love the art on the vinyls too, so I I like to collect those for the art and the music. And then I mean, I don't have a Laserdisc player with me in New York, but I do want to start collecting specific Laserdiscs of shows that I really like. There's obviously the ones I really want are Sailor Moon Laserdiscs. And I don't know, I haven't done it because I don't have a player. My coworker has one, and so I was like, hey, you should try to find. Like, I want her to have them so I can live vicariously through her. But I love those just for the artwork alone, because Laserdiscs aren't really they're not meant to last. So that sooner or later at some point you're not going to be able to really play those. But the artwork alone, like framing that, would just be nice. Yeah. There's a couple places. One that I know that's been really good, and I've seen this guy all over Facebook, and I met him at one of the cons last year. It's a place called Otaku Joe's, and you can look it up on Facebook. He always has a good supply of like retro anime memorabilia, whether it's figures. He does have art books. He gets a lot of laser discs and vinyls in too. And so I know he's been super active, and I bought a Spike Cowboy Bebop figure from him one year, and it was, I love it. So yeah, definitely check him out. And yeah, I think in terms of collecting, I'm big on figures, dolls, and the vinyls.
Nice. That sounds like a well-rounded collection. I love it. And I'm gonna give a small shout out to my store. We have actually a Cowboy Bebop Sailor Moon inspired sweatshirt and hat and a shirt, and it says Sea Moon Princess, like Sea Space Cowboy.
Oh yes, I saw that. Yeah. Yes, I want one of those. I have to get one of those. Yeah. I will be ordering one of those.
Yeah, I still actually haven't ordered one for myself yet, and I'm planning on getting one because I'm like, I want one too. But yeah, and I love Cowboy Bebop. It's in my top 5. So
mine too. Yeah. I think that was one of the shows where I tried to get everybody I knew into it. And I remember also having VHS tapes, specifically, like if I go through my collection, Cowboy Bebop. I would record so I could rewatch it after they aired, before there was DVDs available or Blu-rays available. But yeah, that show definitely on my top 5 list of favorite shows. Obviously the music, anything Yoko Kanno does to me is just, it always draws me into the mood and the setting of the anime that I'm watching, and it's just so good. It's just so good. Definitely one of the key reasons why I love that show, and also the characters, and then of course like Spike's voice.
Yeah,
jeez.
That's one of the few, well, not one of the few, but one of the first animes that I watched where like the dub was so good, and I was just like, this is amazing. And
yes.
all of the characters. I was like, Spike's amazing. I love Ed. I love Faye. I love Jet. Like, it was side characters. And yeah, it's just the villains, Vicious, and it's just, so good.
Everything in that show came together so well, and it's crazy to, like, it's crazy, like, thinking about when it aired, like, was it really that big when it aired? Probably not as big as it is now. And it's just, like, so much more appreciation and the fandom for it, and it's great, because I think, and you see this, I'm sure you may have seen like all these discussions online, like what is an anime you'd recommend to people that don't watch anime, and Cowboy Bebop's always up there because it's not as crazy and zany like a lot of stuff you see that's being put out now. It's like doesn't have one of those long titles like, oh, I fell into something and now I'm this, like it's just like a lot of anime have those kind of long titles now. Like it's short, simple. The art style, and it's like, it's more serious, but also has those comedy elements to it. sci-fi, obviously space,
Right.
but it touches upon so many like more adult themes that it's a nice segue into, getting people into specific anime. So
Yeah, I feel the same way. Like, it's a great gateway anime for all those reasons you mentioned. It's just like if you enjoy live action things with those kind of similar themes, you'll likely
mhm.
enjoy Cowboy Bebop.
Yep, yep,
Because it's like I said, it's not as zany. It's kind of like straightforward. It's just about some bounty hunters in space.
yep, yep.
Mm.
What more can you ask for?
Right?
About Adventures of Bounty Hunters in Space.
Yeah.
And there's so many shows that are like that have
Hmm.
like a ragtag crew and they're in
Yeah.
space. So if you like those live action shows, there's no reason why you wouldn't like Cowboy Bebop unless you don't like
Yeah.
animation.
Exactly.
In which case, are you even human? No, I'm
Yeah.
joking.
Why? Why won't you like animation? Yeah. Baby steps, though. Baby steps.
Baby steps, baby steps. But it is a good gateway one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun, fun, fun. And then what advice would you have for someone if they wanted to get into, I guess, like the anime industry or like, I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, I, I, by all means, like, I don't really consider myself a real expert. I definitely look up to more of like the, um, older fans who have been doing it way longer than I have and who have, more like history in the shows. But I would say definitely research like some of the things, some research directors, research like pick out anime that you really like and just find out all the information you can on it. Like figure out why you like the shows, um, because I just know from like acquisitions and just any kind of acquisitions when you're talking to different companies, like the more when you're knowledgeable about the content you're going after, it definitely there's definitely appreciation in that, when you're dealing with like communications and relationship building. People tend to react to you differently if you know if you have knowledge about the stuff you're going after and interest. Anime may be a little different because there's it there's different committees, there's different licensing, um, but I do think at the core it's still that appreciation and interest that you have, and just being authentic with it. Don't you don't have to be careful, don't get too crazy over it, but just if the person you're talking to can see your authenticity and your vision and yeah, that appreciation for the content, it does help. It does help. And this is just my personal experience because again, like I'm still learning from like all the other people that I follow on Twitter and like their experiences with dealing with people from different companies and things like that. Because again, like I'm no expert. I'm in this industry, but I am by all means still learning and still navigating it myself. So but yeah, like even when our team goes after European content or things like that, and we talk to companies about specific shows or films that we want to license, like I've noticed that you get a much better reaction if you're very true to that, like to that appreciation of the content. You can your facts basically, and I'm
Hmm.
still doing that. Like for even me, I know I'm appreciative of the things that I've watched, but I know there's always more I can research, always more I can um, level myself up in knowledge. So yeah, I don't know if that's really helpful. We do get a lot of questions from people asking us like, how can I work with Japanese companies? And like for us, again, it wasn't an easy. It's not like, oh, just go and talk to. It's not that easy. Like I'm coming from a background where I've dealt with other companies first, and then anime kind of was just there. And my bosses had connections because they ran um, an Asian American network before they started the company we're working at now. So there's a lot of things, but honestly, like having that appreciation and extra knowledge of, the history, studios, directors, all that stuff. Like, it does help, and being genuine with it. You don't have to be obsessive. Obsessives can be a little scary, but just like overall appreciation for it. I mean, if you do get the chance to, talk to some of these companies and things like that. So, yeah. Kind of a complex. It's a very complex answer. I'm really not sure the best way to explain it, but I just know that, like, from my experience when it comes to like licensing, my experiences in licensing. So
I think that makes a lot of sense. I think people want to work with people who, they feel like knows, not only, how to be a good, like, business person, but also, like, you're knowledgeable about what you're, about anime, pretty much, or, like, about, like, what you want to, represent or discuss or talk about. So,
yeah. It's, and it, like, again, this applies to anything. Like, if you're, in this kind of same industry and licensing, like, it can go from any kind of genre.
Right. Yeah, I completely agree. And then, just like Sailor Moon had her Sailor Moon Says phrase at the end of every episode, what would your phrase be? So Sailor Mary Says.
Sailor Mary Says, if you're doubting yourself and you feel like you're not making an impact, just know you are. Every little thing you do touches somebody somewhere. Give yourself credit for the things that you do. It's okay to appreciate that, because everyone brings something to the table. And just keep doing you. Find something you're passionate about and stick with it, and you'll be okay.
That sounds good to me. Thank you, Sailor Mary. And, what's next for you, and where can people find you?
Well, there's a lot of things that we're working on this year. I can't say them until we're, just about the finish line, but immediate things is, expanding RetroCrush, of course, like, adding to the library, getting more. I mean, we're not even a year old yet, so really want to work with other anime fans out there. So I think we made a post a little while back, and I'll probably retweet it, but who you guys think we should work with? We've got a lot of answers, and so again, we're a small team, so it may take us a little bit of time, but yeah, we're focused on working with a lot of people in the community, YouTubers, influencers, just to connect and get more discussions going. And outside of that, yeah, there's a lot of cool things planned for the channel itself, and I can't wait for those to be announced. And then where you can find me, I'm trying my best to use Twitter more on my personal handle, which is Mary AG, so MaryAG. And yeah, I mean, I use Twitter a lot. I think on my Twitter is my Instagram. I usually just post a lot of, like, pictures from Japan and food things and memes, so it's not too impactful. Lovely. But I mean, if you're an Instagram person and you want to follow me there, I believe it's the same, Mary G. But the link is in my Twitter, so if you go to my Twitter, that's there. And yeah, I will say, keep checking out the YouTube. If you guys are interested in specific anime, but don't know, like, if you're gonna like it or not, I highly recommend checking out the clips that are posted on YouTube. My coworkers, my friends, they're Chris and Audrey, Yichen, they've been posting a lot of good stuff, and with the goal of getting people interested. So have a look. And if you like a show, the links are always in the description to watch the full series. Again, the site is free. We do have a paid subscription option now. We haven't promoted it too much because it's still kind of in beta, but if you want to try it, you can try premium. This basically will allow you to watch any show on the platform without ads. Also, we are, putting some more mature titles behind the paywall. So, if you have to, can't have little kids watch Violence Jack. That's a little too much. But if you're into, the Wicked Cities, Violence Jack, something a little more adult and gruesome, those are ones that you can watch with the subscription. And also, you can find us on Amazon Prime, Tubi TV. We've got some shows up on both of those platforms. More to come. Yeah.
Awesome. That sounds like it's getting better and better, and I'm super excited. I told you this before we started recording, but I figured out I can download RetroCrush on my smart TV, so I will be watching a lot more.
That is so good that you mentioned that. Yes, we are on smart TVs, and then if you go to the website and or about us page, you can find us. There's links to like Roku. We're on Amazon Fire TV, Google Play TV. You can download on your phones, iTunes and Google, watch on your iPad. And, what I will say is that, again, the app is not even a year old, and we are still improving it. We're still trying to add more functions and features. So we do appreciate everyone DMing us and letting us know things that you'd like. Like, we want to know those. Respectfully, I should say.
Yeah. I was like,
respectfully. And for the most part, I really do have to say that the fans have been very respectful for the most part. There have been a few kind of like, chill. But for the most part, everyone's really been supportive and respectful in their requests. And we do appreciate it when something uploads wrong to the site. You guys have been great in letting us know what needs to be fixed. We appreciate it because not every platform is going to be perfect. And we are a smaller team, so we're working on RetroCrush, we're working on Asian Crush, we're working on Midnight Pulp. We're trying to give, bring you guys some value in the content. So it does. I can't say it enough. We're very, very appreciative of all of the support and the criticism, constructive criticism.
mm-hmm.
So, again, you guys sending us that is fine. Just be respectful with it. It's always good to be respectful. Over time, the app will still be evolving. We're going to be adding features. So just hold on and be patient while we work through it. And I should say this also. It's not really about us, but if you guys like what you see, obviously streaming is not forever. Stuff licenses and stuff gets renewed, stuff doesn't. But there's always options for collecting DVDs, which I personally do myself. Check out Discotheque if you're like a retro anime fan. Those guys do so much great work in terms of adding in as many extras as possible into their releases, and they've just been releasing so many good titles, and they have so many good upcoming titles coming out, a lot of license rescues, so check them out. I mean, even like Sentai has stuff coming out, like they're doing Nana, and I'm so happy that's getting a release. I cannot wait to own a copy of that. So that's out there too. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you to all the fans that have been just very, very supportive and sticking with us.
Yeah, shout out to y'all. Yeah, thanks to everyone who listens to the Sailor Moon Fan Club podcast too. Once again, I am Victoria L. Johnson, the host, and you can find me at Miss Old School. That's Old School with a K. You can find the podcast at Moonies Club on Twitter and Moonies_club on Instagram, and you'll probably catch me watching a lot of RetroCrush over the next few weeks. So if you want to join me, you can find me on one of those social platforms. I'm sure I'll be talking about something somewhere, either Dear Brother or 12 Kingdoms or City Hunter, most likely, actually.
Oh yeah, get into City Hunter. We're releasing season 2 next week. Oh my god, it's already February. So yeah, more City Hunter is coming in the next couple months, so there will be more to watch.
Awesome, that's good, because I can pace myself. Because sometimes, like, when it's too many episodes, like when I saw 12 Kingdoms, I'm like, this is a lot of episodes, I'm gonna wait.
Yeah.
But this way I can kind of like, alright, new episodes out, I can watch the rest and still feel like I completed something.
Yep. Also, 12 Kingdoms, sadly, that series never really had a proper ending, but we don't need to talk about that.
Yeah, that's another anime issue sometimes. But yeah, we don't have to talk about that.
It's still good. Didn't have a great ending, but it's still pretty good. But we're not gonna talk about that.
Yeah. Sailor Moon had a great ending, and we can end on that.
We can end on that. Yes. I cannot wait for the movie though, and getting to watch that.
Same. I am so hyped. I really hope it gets available somewhere soon.
I guess what the rumor is, it's going to be on Netflix.
It is. It is the big rumor. That's what I'm hoping for. But I mean, I'll take it on any streaming platform.
Right, just as long as we can watch it.
Yeah. Just want a good quality watch.
Good quality stream, and just give us our Sailor Moon.
Yeah, I would be safe while watching it.
Yep.
Yeah, but thank you for coming on the show. This is so much fun.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I was really excited. I mean, anytime we can talk about Sailor Moon and Sailor Pluto, and the live action show,
yes.
I'm there.
Same.